thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today about Soul. And thank you for ripping my heart out of my chest yesterday.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And I just wanted to start by noting that it felt like it shares quite a lot of DNA with Inside Out. Is that something that were you aware of that?
Yeah, we were trying to avoid that as much as possible, but it does feel like it talks about similar but different things. Like Inside Out was much more of like a scientific exploration into what makes our emotions, what triggers them, and how does that propel us through the world. In this case, we were trying to step back even from that and go, what are we doing here? What's the world all about? What's my life? Is there a success? Like, how do I know if I got it right? I don't know. And that's really was at the core of this film.
Yeah, more so like, where do you get your personality traits? You know, like, how did our kids show up the way they did when they were born? Because it seems like those personalities are there and they're formed.
Absolutely. But did it come from sort of personal anxieties? Because I mean, I had a lot of anxiety also during the film, not gonna lie.
Did you?
Oh.
Yeah, it kind of did. It came from, you know, I've had a love of animation my whole life. I started when I was like 8 doing flip books in the corners of my math book, and then getting to a place where I was like, you know, is this really what I'm meant to be doing with my life? And kind of questioning all of that, and that was really the spark behind all of this. And as Dana says, watching our kids and recognizing that they already were born with a sense of personality and wondering, was I born with a fate? You know, am I meant to be doing this, or how does that work? You know, and there's of course many different philosophical backgrounds, like essentialism and nihilism and this existentialism and all these different ideas that posit different theories for that. And so we got to research that as well as a bunch of different looks at religions from around the world, Buddhism, you know, Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, and, you know, everybody's got very different ways of looking at the world. Some of that, I think, made its way into the film a little bit, and other things we made sure to try to avoid.
And it feels like animation as a medium has kind of moved away from this black and white, good versus evil narratives. Is that something that you're pursuing quite consciously?
Yeah, as a storyteller, I don't think that it really reflects the world. I mean, there is a comfort in the idea that there's good guys and bad guys, and there's a very clear, distinct, like, I'm rooting for the good guy. But I don't think anybody in the world ever wakes up and says, I'm the baddie, I'm going to today do evil, right? They all think they're doing the right thing. And so what we're trying to do in the films, even though we do have antagonists, is to get inside their heads and understand what drives them. What are the things that they think are important about the world, so that we do have a genuine, rootable kind of a conflict there that's not very two-dimensional, but feels more reflective of the way the world works. Does that make sense?
It does. I think it does, yeah. And do you think Soul is you could only do a film like Soul through that animation?
Well, I mean, nowadays you could probably do anything with live action, because the technology is so amazing. But I will say there's a level of cartooniness in the characters, and not the design, although there's that too, but even the way that they act, that I think you buy in an animated film that you might not in a live action. That they're you know, we can have them exaggerate their perspectives on life and say kind of things that are so far out that I sometimes wonder, like, if we did, say, the beginning of Up, with the guy and his wife growing old and she passes away, if we'd done that in live action, would people go, that's so schmaltzy, whereas in animation we can get away with it? I don't know.
Fantastic. That's all I've got. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time again, and congratulations on Soul. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.